First of all, when you retired from your other sport, was this on your mind? This
Yeah,
opportunity?
I knew what I wanted to do. Just a matter of getting with Jerry Reinsdorf and actually seeing if he was going to let me do it. So I've talked to him about 3 years beforehand about possibly doing some summer baseball and give me an opportunity to go out and have some fun. And as soon as I retired, I asked him for the opportunity again, and he graciously gave me an opportunity to do that. And he got me together with some of the guys in the White Sox organization to get myself prepared, body, mind, everything, hitting. And for 2 months, I worked out until I came here for camp.
So even though you knew you wanted to do it, if you didn't progress to the point where you thought you were comfortable with it, you wouldn't have done it.
Right. If he felt I didn't have skills to even be there, then he was going to let me know, which is what I wanted to as a friend. Let me know if I was decent enough to come to camp, and then possibly have a long shot to achieve it. And being a part of the team. So I worked hard and got to that point, and next thing you know, I'm here.
When you were in high school, how good were you at baseball, and how did that compare with your basketball abilities?
Well, I mean, in high school, like most typical high school, athletes, you play 2 and 3 sports. So it's hard to really focus in. Once you focus in, then you excel at that particular sport. When I was in high school, I played a little bit of football. I played baseball and basketball. And my senior year, I ran a little track. So I was searching all different spectrums of sports until I found what was good for me, which was basketball, because of my height, because of my skills, and because I put a little bit more work into basketball. I excelled at it. Even though I still played baseball, it wasn't. I never really focused in on it and put the efforts that I put into it in basketball. So I wanted to at least just see if I focus in and put the skills there, if I could ever be good enough to play in a major league or play in AAA or even have the potential of playing in a major league.
How would you describe the crash course?
It's been a crash course. It's been a lot of work, as you know. I mean, my work habits has kind of doubled most people here because I got to catch up with a lot of different knowledge and education of the game, fundamentals as well. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a crash course, but yet it's been a lot of fun.
What's different about the spring training atmosphere? Fans, players, being down here than anything you may have encountered in the past?
Well, I mean, training camp in basketball is indoors in the wintertime, never in a warm place. And here you're outdoors and you're in a warm place, and you got a lot more people to deal with, a lot more personalities to see, and you got a lot of other teams you got to, I guess, put certain players on, even if it's developed teams to they get to the majors. So it's a whole different process. It's like a CBA, NBA going all together, and then one team goes to the CBA, another team goes to the NBA. But I guess it's just a whole day of getting to know the players, going through certain routines, a lot of standing around. But for me, it's not really standing around. It's going through my mind of the fundamentals of how to play the game. So it's a little different for me than for a normal player who knows the routines of playing baseball. I don't. So when I'm standing around, I'm observing certain things other players do so that I can pick up some of those little tidbits to help out my game.
I remember at your press conference when you retired, which of course was during the White Sox playoffs, and I happened to be there, and you talked about getting back to something of a normal life. But is there something to the fact that it's impossible for Michael Jordan to have the type of quote-unquote normal life that others do? So it's no more media attention here than it is in your regular life.
Well, it's different. It's a slower pace game, a little bit more patience, even though the competitive attitude is there. So it's a step down in that aspect from basketball, which is possibly what I was looking forward to or looking for. Instead of going from one thing to cold turkey, it's a gradual decrease in terms of patience, in terms of a little bit more relaxed atmosphere, but yet still focused and still competitive. But it's a little different. And if I don't make it in baseball, I take the next step, which is nothing. But not quite as competitive as in baseball.
there's no risk when you do basketball of a plane going through an interview, perhaps obscuring what you say. Would you mind just that last thought that you had about if this doesn't work out, what's next for you?
Well, if it doesn't work out, then I can play golf for the rest of my life. Hopefully, if I'm healthy, and I got other things that I could kind of move into, which may not be in sports. Quite frankly, I don't think it will be. These are the two dreams that I've always had when I was a kid, from baseball and basketball, and I achieved basketball, so I wanted to try my hand in baseball. If it doesn't work, then it's nothing else out there. I'm not going to box. Golf is something that if I ever get good enough, maybe, you never know. I'm not going to go and take lessons for 4 or 5 years. I once said that I would, but I think I would need a break to just relax and enjoy life a little bit more, and have some of those dreams behind me so that I can just free will it and let my hair grow.
Darren Jackson said what may be the most telling comment from your new teammates, that he was apprehensive, as probably everybody else was, about the atmosphere with the media, the fans. But now you're just one of the guys in just a short time. Were you apprehensive about it?
Yeah, I was really nervous about coming in and somehow being projected to overshadow everybody else. I didn't want that. I wanted to kind of fit in the lowest that I could go and get the guys to know me as a person and as a hard-working player who's trying to understand the game, but yet trying to grasp some of the fundamentals so that I can improve as a player. Naturally, sometimes the media takes it a little bit bigger than what it should be, and that's the danger that you must deal with. But I think once the players know me as a person, they can see that I'm not seeking it for the media attention. I'm not seeking it for the money aspect. I'm seeking it strictly for the love of the game. And I respect their game. It isn't that I disrespect their game by coming from another professional sport and trying to play their sport. I respect it because I feel I have to put the work out there to achieve it to this point and to try to acquire some of those fundamentals that I missed for 13 years.
Have you thought at all about, with your international popularity, how that might help the game of baseball and bring new fans to this sport?
Well, I didn't do that. This isn't what I'm doing this whole thing for, is to try to save baseball. That's nothing that I think I can do because I don't have the credentials to do that. I haven't achieved anything in baseball. Only thing that I'm achieving now is America's dream of being able to chase a dream that you had ever since you was a kid. But in terms of criteria as a baseball player, I have yet to prove anything except for I'm willing to come out here and work hard and see where my skills stand. Outside of that, I can't say I'm the savior for baseball. I don't think I've earned that, and I wouldn't give myself that title.
When I saw you in Baltimore before your home run hitting contest, when you're out there almost alone, maybe 3 or 4 catches around, you said that Roberto Clemente was a guy you especially admired. Can you talk about that admiration for him and any other baseball players in your growing up that you recall?
My father always liked Roberto Clemente, and he used to love the Pittsburgh Pirates, and so we, watching your father, kind of acquired those same likes and admiration for that type of player. His uniqueness, his hard work, his dedication to the game, his creativity as a player, I think is one of the things that I admired about him. Hank Aaron was one of my father's favorites. Pete Rose, because of the way he worked hard and played the game, head first slide. Barry Bonds and I are pretty good friends, and I've always admired his work ethics. I've seen him many times get in the batting cage and hit for days. It's a lot of other baseball players that I've come in contact and I've admired just by knowing them and seeing how they operate in their profession. And as I was growing up, those are the guys that I saw. Atlanta Braves was the closest professional team, and I went to an Atlanta Braves game when I was 12 years old, and had a good time. So,
what do you think of the statement that hitting in baseball is the hardest thing for any athlete to do?
Well, I think when I heard Ted Williams said that, I mean, and he operated in this respective sport, and he never played baseball. He never played, basketball, soccer, football, any other sport, golf. So it's hard to relate when you never really tried these other sports or played them professionally. Quite honestly, in terms of playing baseball and playing basketball, and they had some love for the game of golf. I think golf is probably one of the toughest ones that I've faced thus far because of the mental aspect of it. You don't have an opponent. The opponent is a course, and it's a constant opponent. And sometimes mentally, it's tough to deal with that day in and day out. I'm not saying that hitting a baseball is easy. It's not, and coming from a motion sport, it's not any easier. I mean, it's a lot more harder, waiting for someone else to initiate the action when in basketball you initiated the action. So I think it's tough to say one sport is harder than the next or one thing is harder than the next if you don't deal with that sport professionally on each level. I find that very tough to give that criteria.
Last thing, and that is, I know you know Joe Carter very well, and
JC?
I've talked with him about what a fan he is of yours, and I know about your friendship. What did you think when you saw Joe Carter hit that home run to finish the World Series?
Quite frankly, I just saw him maybe a week ago, or a week before that, or a week and a half before that, when they were in Chicago playing the White Sox, and I was complaining. I was really giving him some troubles about his RBIs. He didn't have enough. He only had 2 or 3 RBIs. I said, when are you gonna get some RBIs? And when you knock that home run, I mean, very typical of what we discussed. Oh, I get an RBI whenever it counts. That's exactly what he said, and it happened to be the one that helped them win the World Series. So I was very happy for him. He's a great guy. He calls me a lot. He gives me recipes for my restaurant. He's a real good friend, and he's a big basketball fan, and I'm a fan of his, and I was very happy for him, so that he finished his year the way that he wanted to, that you would dream of doing it.
Dream-like quality, like Paxson shot last year?
I mean, those are 2 plays that those guys have made that a lot of us, not just myself, but anybody else, have dreamed about doing in a pressure situation to win championships, and these guys have been fortunate to be put in that position and yet respond the way that they dream it to be.
Is there anything you'd like to add in all the interviews that you've had to go through every single day, being under the microscope from the opening press conference right up through the Daily Horde, that you're thinking about in terms of surprises since you've taken up this sport, things that maybe somebody's missing in covering Michael Jordan's attempt?
Well, I think I've read a few times where people feel that I'm degrading the game, which I don't think I am. I think we all dream of playing the game of baseball. A lot of us grew up playing minor league, little league, and had dreams of playing, major leagues. I'm just having an opportunity to chase that dream, which is good for the game of baseball, I think, for kids to dream again to play the game. I mean, a lot of the players that I've read, some negativism, and which is quite honest, and you expect that. But I don't like to prejudge people. I think people should judge according to the guy's work ethics, to the guy's desire, to the guy's love for the game, and no one knows that except for the people that I deal with day in, day out here. And that's probably why I've earned their respect to a certain extent. And hopefully in due time, if I ever get the opportunity when other players are facing other players, I can earn their respect too. But I don't disrespect anyone who plays the game of baseball. I respect them to the fullest just by knowing some of the processes that they must go through. And a lot of time that is lost in the conversations that I've had with the media in terms of them expressing that message to some of the other people who read their articles or read their comments, especially to the players who I may have to face somewhere down the road.
It sounds like that respect has increased since you've taken this up.
Oh, I truly respect them. Just by seeing the steps that they must go through to obtain that talent and that demeanor and that mental challenge day in and day out.